Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Sean coming at you from High Level. I am super ecstatic about this release. We've been working on this now for probably 4 months. This is a big funnel speed update and website speed update and calendar widget speed update and forms widget speed update. So basically every type of forward-facing component in our whole system has now just gotten significantly faster. So I'm going to do kind of a quick overview. And then for those of you who are really a more technical, I'm going to drop down and show you kind of how we approached it and try to go into a little bit of the technical implementation so you can see what's going on. For those of you who want the punchline though, you can see very quickly here on my screen, basically same literal page before and after, significant improvement in performance there. So that is amazing. Let me show you another example actually of a live funnel from a customer as well, so you can kind of get an idea. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is a funnel. I've hidden the URL to protect the innocent or the guilty, depending on how you look at it. But anyways, this is literally a funnel that I got sent a while back from a customer saying, hey, listen, my funnel is really slow. What can I do about it? And there's a bunch of stuff on the page that he could absolutely still do to get better, but without doing anything, without any changes whatsoever. You can see here, I tested this on May 17th, 2022 at 9:11 Pacific time. And you can see I tested it again this morning at 8:41 Pacific. And without doing any changes whatsoever to the page, significant improvements in performance. And so just across the board, this will make all of your funnels, websites, etc. faster automatically without you doing anything. Now, quick caveat, it has to be pointed at the level 0 infrastructure. So for those of you who don't know about this, basically, if you go to help.go help.go highlevel.com/solutions. Oh, hold on. Loading. Okay, cool. So if you just type level 0 here, basically how to activate level 0 CDN for funnels and websites. This all goes through it. Essentially, by default, when you add a new funnel or a website, it says, hey, point this at Flash funnels or whatever. This just shows you how to do this for level 0. And then for those of you who are doing this for a root domain, be sure to use the actual, for the A record, be sure to use the actual IP address, which is, I believe, 34.120.63.60. So anyways, that wraps up kind of the major announcement. Lots of stuff, much faster, all of that. Now, let's jump into the technical details, because whenever I release a funnels is faster sort of announcement here, I get the whole like, oh, the Google page speed score isn't amazing or isn't what I want it to be or whatever it is, right? And so the reality here is there's sort of perception and reality. So when you're looking at any of the scoring websites, what you're gonna, and particularly Google, one of the things that they do is they basically throttle, and let's take a look here. If this is a good example. No, okay. Look how fast this one, right? But what they're doing here is they're assuming essentially you can see right here, a slow 4G connection, a Motorola G4, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, here's what really matters. Modern browsers and modern devices are quite fast. And what matters more than anything else, and we've tested this in the real world. So if you want to talk about like, what is going to get me more sales, right? It's about getting the page contents, the HTML, the JavaScript, and the CSS to come from out on the internet onto your browser as fast as humanly possible. That's just all there is to it. Like, yeah, once it gets there, if everything arrives sort of simultaneously and one is structured better than the other, one will load better and faster and all that. But at the end of the day, where the rubber meets the road, where we see the biggest difference from actual real world sales is how fast does that content load. So let's take a look actually at a quick example. So this is perfect because here, this website was built by somebody else, not us, on one of the major funnel builders out there. And then they built the same site on our funnel builder, okay? And then if you look at this in Google PageSpeed, we actually look worse than these other folks. So mobile, you can see 98 on mobile, 100 on desktop. Amazing. This is the other people, right? Our score is actually lower than this. Once this finishes here, hold on, I'll pause and I'll wait for it to load. Oh, wait, never mind. Here we go. Mobile, 69. Oh my gosh. And 98 on desktop. So our 69 to their 98. Wow. They must do such a better job. But I disagree entirely. And let me show you why. Hold on just a sec. Okay. So just quickly sparing the details, trying to get, there's lots on the screen here. But basically, here's what we're doing. This is an application called Postman. Developers use it to run tests on scripts and everything else. But one thing I'm doing here is I'm just running what's called a GET request, which is what happens when you put a URL in the browser and hit enter. And what's happening is it's going out to this URL and just grabbing all the contents. And you can see down here, this is all the HTML. And I think actually if you hit preview, yeah, you can actually see it. Now here's what matters. So if you ask the question, how long did it take for my computer to pull this data all the way down to my browser and have it be able to be displayed on the screen? You can see right here, it took 256 milliseconds, and you put your mouse over it, shows you kind of all the different steps in the process because, and this is all very technical, so I apologize if this confuses anybody, but you gotta go look up the DNS. So that means you gotta take the URL and translate it to an IP address. You gotta do a TCP handshake. You gotta do an SSL handshake to make sure it's secure. You gotta start the transfer. You gotta download the data, and boom, you've got all the stuff. Awesome, great. So in 256 milliseconds, we took a 7.04 KB file, that's 7.4 KB of data, and brought it into the browser, okay? So all you gotta know really is that this whole thing took 256 milliseconds, which sounds really fast, and it is, except we're better than that. So if we go back and look at the same thing we were doing before, but except this time loaded in ours, you can see here that it's 6.82, so it's slightly smaller, and the reason why is because we've optimized the code more, but it's the same contents. But this time, instead of 256 milliseconds, it's 26 milliseconds. So it's pretty simple. Like, 256 hours, let's say, versus 26 hours. 26 is a lot smaller than 256, and that's the point. We've optimized this thing for real world conditions, and real world conditions are that even on mobile browsers with modern, even normal cell carriers, the likelihood that you're going to have a low, slow, throttled sort of 4G connection is pretty low. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter even if you do, because page for page, ours will pull to the browser faster. And as a result, all that's left at that point is the power of the device to actually render the page. And fundamentally, we will beat out in real world conditions almost anybody else. In fact, I would say currently anyone that I have personally seen. But a lot of people love to go grab those silly graders and throw them at us. And the reality is, in real world conditions, that's not how this actually works out. Because first, you got to get the data to the device, and once the data is at the device, then the device sort of takes over and renders that data. But at the end of the day, it's the getting the data to the device as quickly as possible that wins. So whenever you're doing these tests, just sort of keep that in mind. And I'm happy to go on a deeper discussion with some of you who will no doubt when I have some talks about this. But at the end of the day, it's a 7-minute video, so wanted to get this out. I am so ecstatic and so excited that you got this far in the video if you did, but also our team did such an amazing job of making this happen. And again, on Level Zero, check it out today. Thank you very much. And as always, if you have any questions, thanks and let us know. Bye.